I think you might be the next Heston.
If you can catch children early and inspire them and excite them, maybe to try a few things they haven't tried, I think that sets them up for a lifetime of enjoying food and cooking. Just coming up in the run up to Christmas, I've got kind of 3 classes on those 3, you say awkward days before Christmas when you don't know what to do with your kids.
Oh yes, yeah.
We're doing like a breakfast, like breakfast and brunch class, things that you can do with leftovers, and then also more of like a party food. So maybe you want to have some of your friends around and you want to do cooking.
Hello, welcome to Kitchen Tales, the podcast where we talk to independent small businesses. We talk about our own business and also have laughs and a lot of fun.
Yes, you do.
How are you, Glee?
I'm all right. I'm feeling
Festive?
very festive. I'm already starting to wear the colours a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just feels very autumnal. Christmas is around the corner now. But I'm already thinking about January.
I can't get there yet.
I'm thinking about January because I just want to relax and chill.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
So I'm taking like the first couple of weeks in January off and just relaxing. So that's where my mind is at the moment, and in the midst of all the work that I'm doing. Yeah.
I can't think about January yet, but it's lovely when it comes. It's just like you suddenly get to Christmas Eve and it's like, stop.
I can stop and relax.
And you've got the Christmas lunch. Work has been busy. I've just had a lovely 50th birthday afternoon tea, where initially it was just going to be a buffet afternoon tea, and then she said, can we do it a bit different and just make it canapé style? You know me with canapés. So I've just done lots of mini sandwiches, mini scones, and all these little tartlets and cakes, but mini. And they had such a lovely time with fizz and tea, and it was a really lovely one. It was really good.
I like that.
And lots of other things going on, but that was my highlight last week.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Such a great idea. I don't think I've ever seen anyone doing it kind of style.
Yeah, I know.
That should be something that becomes your thing that you do.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really nice way of people just enjoying.
They didn't want plates or anything, so they just wanted a canapés just going around and in their house. It was lovely.
That's
really good. Ooh, how are you? How's business?
Business has been all right. Yeah. So I've had quite a few things going on now. I had a couple parties. No, we're talking about not having parties, party bookings, couple parties, but they are much smaller than they used to be now. Yeah. I think most people are just doing some things at home and just relaxing and not doing too much or doing grand ideas like how they were.
And part as well. I'm finding they want to have maybe a dinner or something, but can you provide the starter and the pudding? I'll do the main course. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just the times and that's just how it is. But yeah, at least we're still busy getting things done and, not so quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Because this time of the year, we just need to get the money in.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got another guest in today. So I'd like to introduce Sarah from the Cookery Lab.
Hi,
hello.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, Sarah. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good.
So lovely to meet you.
I'm so intrigued because I think you might be the next Heston. Because there's lots of science in your food, and so I'm so intrigued. But I'd love to hear how you started.
Yeah, so it feels strange. I feel like I have a bit of an imposter syndrome, but actually the Cookery Lab's been open for a year now. And it's definitely been an evolution of a year. So I think even in the way it looks, we've kind of made improvements and things throughout the year. But officially have now been open for a year. And so really the idea behind it is, although I have a massive collection of cookbooks, actually to free people a little bit from recipes and for them to have a bit of an understanding about what's going on when they're cooking their food, so they can understand how to reproduce things at home without necessarily needing to remember how many teaspoons of this do I need. But actually the idea that if they taste it, they can work out themselves, actually, I do need a bit more of this, or I do need a bit more of that. And so it becomes a more enjoyable activity. I'm really much more about cooking being something pleasurable rather than something that people measure themselves against. I feel like it's it's either I'm amazing at cooking or I can't do cooking. And I think that's a bit of a shame because we all have to eat.
Yes.
So that's really the ethos
Yeah.
behind it. But yes, I am a chemist by background. So I did start off doing chemistry at university, and I started working in pharmaceuticals. Very strange foray into corporate governance and a long career at the Bank of England. And all along in the background was food, I think. Ever since I can remember, it was food.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I'll just have a big smile on my face just listening to you.
Yeah.
Because I just think that's absolutely incredible that you found almost like a niche to some degree of how you can actually get people to enjoy food. Because myself, I grew up learning from watching my aunties and people around me cooking, and it was never about recipes.
Yeah.
So even how I started to cook, I didn't have any recipes. Yeah. It was just following and tasting and things like that. So just hearing somebody talking that way is just music to my ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally the same for me. So my mum, although she would never admit it, was absolutely my inspiration. She cooked all of our meals from scratch, and these days she would say she never cooks, but she never, she wasn't sat there slavishly with a recipe book. She likes recipe books, but everything was from scratch. And I used to have to say to her, what's the recipe for this? And she would say, I just sort of do it. And she just knew everything instinctively, and it came out in the way that her food tasted. And to me, that's so magical. And so I was utterly inspired by her and the way she cooks.
That's incredible. So how are you making this into your business? So are people coming to learn? Is it a cookery school? What is it? Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is exactly?
So I think that how do you settle into being yourself is one of the hardest questions I found in business. And that's also an evolution. And I think about being confident, isn't it, in who you are and how you present that. So certainly originally, before the lab was set up, what I was doing was going into schools and teaching children cookery, because I think if you can catch children early and inspire them and excite them, maybe to try a few things they haven't tried, I think that sets them up for a lifetime of enjoying food and cooking. So really it started there with perhaps what I would say is less traditional children's cookery. So not just things that people would say are really simple or things that you might learn at school, but actually taking a more adult approach to say, what are the things you'd like to eat for your dinner? And to learn those things. So slightly more complicated dishes. But now really very much at the Cookery Lab, it's a case of everyone. So adults, children, groups. So actually have been loving Christmas parties. That's been amazing. Had a group the other day who came in and they said, we can't cook. None of us can cook. We're not confident. And almost they were a bit like, I'm not sure why we're here. Why has someone booked this activity? And the food they produced was amazing. And they were like, can't believe how amazing our food tastes. And they were like, I'm going to go home and tell my partner that I can cook. And it just felt good. Like, I love that. It felt good. So really, it's really about getting groups of people into the kitchen and empowering them, giving them the tools, maybe teaching them a few new tricks. But I'm not training people to be chefs. So they're not coming out with like a cordon bleu qualification. But certainly in the new year, I'm really excited. I've come up with a new kind of monthly cookery series, a bit more like a club. You don't have to come every month. But the idea is it's much more of a dive into a particular way of cooking, a kind of set of techniques or a set of recipes, and kind of to allow people to go home then with the freedom to say, I know how to make a really good stir fry, for example, or I know how to make some really good dishes with pastry. So they have something they can kind of pull out and feel like they can impress their family with.
That's incredible.
It's such a good idea. And there's not many of, these schools around here. I could count, I don't know.
There's
honesty.
There's honesty.
Honesty
there, but
would speak.
anyone taking the approach that you
wonderful.
are, I don't think I know of anybody doing that approach. It's absolutely incredible. So where is your lab based?
So in Aldermaston, just on the border with Tadley, so right on the edge of the West Berkshire border. We're in Caliva Park, which is an industrial estate. It's quite nice because it means it's very quiet. Certainly at the weekends, if I have a hen party, nobody knows, which is nice. And it's big enough that I can have up to sort of 20 adults really comfortably cooking. but small enough that means it's always exclusive use. So if you come in and you want to be loud with your friends, it doesn't matter. And you don't need to feel embarrassed if the way you're cooking isn't the way that everyone else is. So it just feels like I can create kind of quite a nice, warm and cozy atmosphere, really.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And children?
Children.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
So still really kind of passionate about that. It's always tricky, the balance of, want to be able to put on lots of half-term classes, but then to balance with all the other things going on.
Yeah.
Certainly really excited, just coming up in the run up to Christmas. I've got kind of 3 classes on those 3, slightly awkward days before Christmas when you don't know what to do with your kids.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because it's holidays. But you really want to do your not packing, your wrapping. Of presents or last minute shopping. So there's a few things there, again, to kind of empower kids, maybe to do some cooking for their parents. So we're doing like a breakfasts, like breakfast and brunch class, not like your healthy, nutritious one, Rona, but hopefully still kind of fun. Things that you can do with leftovers. And then also more of like a party food. So maybe you want to have some of your friends around and you want to do cooking. I know I have some amazing nieces who love kind of cooking for their friends. And that's just a really nice thing. So just a few different things that they can do in the holidays. So
that's so good.
I'm just thinking of how that's actually a really great present.
Yes, I was about to ask.
Do you do vouchers and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. So again, it's not something that I kind of have that you can instantly buy, but definitely if people email me, I do gift vouchers and that kind of stuff. It's just been a challenge of getting enough stuff up live on the website to kind of advertise.
We know it too well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you've also got to see what works as well. So you've just put out all the courses, and you've just started those. I hope they go really well, because I think gradually you just build up. You see what people enjoy, whether it's a pizza class or it's a cake making or something, and it's just working out what works for you.
And that's it. I think my husband has been in business for a long time now. He runs an amazing business next door to mine called Tech Camp, and he teaches children how to build 3D printers and fly drones and all these amazing things. So we often do things kind of working together. But I think, he's been, apart from being instrumental in building the kitchen, we did it together, and I couldn't be more fortunate to have him. But, really the lessons I've learned from him and how he's evolved his business, understanding that it's not just what I want to do, right? It's not what you want to cook always, it's what your client wants, isn't it? And actually, that exactly like you say, you just need to work out what do people want. And so I might think, I'd love to teach this, but actually it's what do other people find valuable. And the feedback, people always come in and they want to say nice things, which is great, but actually I'm like, could you tell me what would be good to do differently? And I think, again, my husband has encouraged me. It's great to get feedback, and actually, even if the feedback they're giving is more on the constructive end, you need to know it.
Absolutely.
Because that's the gift, isn't it? And I think it's feeling confident enough to be able to receive that feedback and feel okay, great, I can do something with that. So definitely in the learning stage.
I mean, you're doing fantastic already. How do you get to choose what you're going to be able to teach? And I just want to understand sort of like the concept of how you get somebody to learn. How do you come up with that concept? Because I think obviously that's part of the fun. It's like there's so many things that you could do, so much potential, but how do you come up and narrow it down?
Well, that's the problem, right?
All learning.
Yeah, so that is the problem. So I think I've had a lifetime of, my mum was a librarian when she was working. And both my parents loved reading. In fact, my brother and sister also. And I just wanted to read cookbooks. So fiction books, not really me, but cookbooks or books about food. So I think it's been a lifetime of absorbing and kind of watching and listening to others, and some amazing restaurants I've worked in and different places. So my head is kind of constantly going around things I'd love to teach and cook. And I think it's been a lot of kind of listening and thinking, what would be good. So I guess, I have an almost 14-year-old son who is kind of absorbed in kind of what's going on and what's happening on social media and what people are enjoying eating, and he loves food. So it's all ideas that come in from different places and different people, and then trying to narrow it down. And then I guess the trick for me is Usually classes are kind of about 3 hours. Feels like more than that is too long to concentrate. And less than that, you just can't, there's some things you can't do. And I know that I'm always really reluctant to have to do like a here's one I made earlier for you because it's less fun. And some of the things I want to cook take time. So I guess I start with that. What can I make in the 3 hours? How can I balance it? And then I try and make something that fits together as a meal. So for me, one of the really important parts of the Cookery Lab is the social eating aspect. So the World Happiness Report for this year was a big part of it was about the impact on just eating your lunch with even one other person and how much that can kind of improve your happiness levels. And for me, the concept of, loneliness is such a big thing, and actually sharing, the simple act of just sharing a sandwich with someone. So I like to make it that at the end, if people don't know each other, come into the class, actually by the end they're all chatting, and then eating together just feels quite special. So I like desserts, so usually it always finishes with something that's a dessert. I'm not sure if I've answered your question.
You have, you really have. So like, what's the age range? Like, it's like, what's the minimum age somebody who
So for children, it starts as at 8, really because sometimes under 8, they're not even quite tall enough to reach the counter. I have had a couple of newly 8-year-olds who just haven't quite been tall enough. And because I quite like to do the really independent cooking, I can't really kind of dedicate all my time to kind of be there with the little.
They need a lot of attention.
And still
like animals as well.
So to be fair to everyone.
As you know.
I've got a 4-year-old.
And I think, look, I would love to do something, but I think it would be more of a parent and child, I think. But that changes the dynamic, right? I mean, we all know as parents, like it's kind of hard sometimes to let your kid do the thing. And, you notice that sometimes parents want to jump in. Whereas I think it's a nice space where kids can actually then say to their mum or their dad when they come, like, look what I made. And that's quite special.
It is really special. I'm just thinking, like, as you're talking, both Ron and I were quite big on collaborating and working with other people. I'm just thinking what you do. I'm not sure if you've been connected to Rachel from the retreat. So you have.
She's been amazing. And she's come, and her girls have come, and she's been super, super supportive. So she's amazing, like a really inspiring businesswoman. So I think. As I was saying, I think for me, the way that I connected with people through the Independence of Newbury account, and I was really lucky that Chessie kind of contacted me and said, would I like to be featured? And that's how I connected with you. And that's how Rachel and I connected. And I think, that was a gift, really, because I was kind of anxious and I don't know anyone. And how do I meet nice people? I think I found business quite lonely.
Well, I was so intrigued when I saw the post. I thought, wow, that's just something different that Newbury's going to offer. And it's fantastic.
I think it's
really good.
And as you said, running your own business can be quite lonely, especially when you're doing it yourself. Like all of us didn't always start in the food industry. So that starting from something else, going into an industry that's already been well established, and a novice, so to speak, when you're starting, it can be a bit like, oh, what am I doing? But as you're speaking to other people, as you're finding out how other people are doing things, you just gain that confidence and get new friends. Which is brilliant. Which is why we also love doing this podcast, because it gives us an opportunity to get to meet other people, be able to be inspired, and hopefully inspire as well, so we can all find ways of working together and make our businesses work. I think that's the big thing, and that's what it's all about. So really pleased it's working out for you.
It's amazing, because that's what I love about sitting down and listening to a podcast is it's very often kind of people that I've seen on social media, and you think, oh wow, it's a really amazing chance to kind of listen to hear more about their story and everything else. And it does make you feel like you're, even though you haven't met them, that you're in some kind of network and community. And I think that's quite powerful.
That's really good. So if people want to find out more about when your workshop or events are, where can they find all this information from?
So I have a website that I'm very lucky that my husband built for me. Tom's a bit of a whiz with that. So that's the cookerylab.com. And I do have social media. I promised myself that I'm going to be, it's too early for New Year's resolutions, isn't it? I am going to be more than a New Year's resolution, more active on social media. I do find it quite intimidating. But so I do have Facebook, I do have Instagram, I have the tiniest TikTok account in the world. And I use LinkedIn. I think that was more familiar for me from a kind of corporate business environment. But certainly I've been fortunate that Facebook actually is where I've met lots of people and where I've kind of been able to kind of attract people to come and do classes. So I think it's an amazing local tool, really.
Oh, so. Yeah, I think I've said the same as well, that even though Instagram, like maybe there's more followers and things like that, it's people that are wanting to see pictures and wanting to see, but the interaction and the bookings, most of them do come from Facebook. And I find that so fascinating because...
It's our generation, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those are the people that spend the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because on Instagram, everyone is, oh, that looks so pretty. That looks so good. Ooh, too expensive. Oops, sorry. Too expensive or something along those lines. But on Facebook, I find that people actually genuinely, when they see something, they're likely to click, go on your website and actually do the booking. So
I think it's where the mums hang out. Isn't
I think it is.
And so I love that. And actually, since I discovered that for my business, I feel like I've almost been a better parent. Because now I know where the stuff's happening.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, now I know. I don't know what I was doing before, but obviously not looking in the right places.
That's exactly the same. That's how I feel as well. I just find out all these amazing things, and everyone always, there's people that always know that I didn't know. And it's fabulous to do that. But we are so grateful to have you here, and also having a business like yours, which I think is going to be a very, very, very good for the community and beyond, because I think just learning how to cook and being able to the skills is important. Yeah. And the fact that you're also working with young people, inspiring them. I'll be sending my son.
If you want to come and do a Kitchen Tales cookery workshop,
yes,
you would be most welcome.
Incredible.
Come and use the space.
That'd be wonderful.
I think that'll be really good. And I was just thinking, since you say you've got a space that can fit 20 people, you should look into doing some kind of supper club where, you know,
it's on the list of ideas.
There's so many things you can do. So I just wish you all the best, and I know it's going to go well.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, thank you so much. Before we finish our podcast, we're always asking people what they're having for dinner. What are you having for dinner tonight?
What have you created?
Well, so I thought about this and I thought, I should give like a chefy answer, shouldn't I?
No, not
like but I'm going to give the really honest one. And that is that I have two very tolerant boys at home, my husband and then my son. And they eat all sorts of random things. And it's often like leftovers. So actually today what is staring me in the fridge is a very large cauliflower. So I'm going to make a roasted cauliflower. I'm going to cover it in some nice harissa. I've got some herbs randomly lurking, and I make hummus. So it's going to be like a harissa roasted cauliflower, some hummus and some herbs. We quite often eat some random vegetarian meals because it's just about kind of using up, making good with what's there. So.
How about you, Rona? What are you having for dinner?
Griffin sausages tonight with an onion gravy.
Oh, sounds
I'm making some mashed potato and some vegetables that I find from the fridge.
Oh,
sounds amazing.
Seasonal as well.
Yes.
Those are the kind of meals I like to enjoy around this time of the year.
Yeah, how about you?
Delicious. So I'm making some meatballs. Making some meatballs with some pasta, and the kids like me to then put it in the oven like a pasta bake. So we're just having that, just a nice weekday meal.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Very good.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, Sarah. Lovely to meet you. Thanks. And for those that are watching or listening to us, thank you very much. You can find us at Kitchen-Tales on Instagram, or you can find us on all platforms that you can listen to your podcast. Thank you.